you're going to learn in the next week. So, it's okay that you couldn't answer that question. I think the next part, Mr. Dankoff is going to come and teach you about architecture and how to make a floor plan, because that is part of your proposal to the Mosque Selection Committee.
So many of your geometry groups are going to parallel the work you're going to do in English class and in history class. Just don't see the connection yet of using evidence and reason and logic to draw a conclusion. You're not doing geometry so much because you're going to be using that every day of your life, but you're going to use that logical thinking for the rest of your life in all your classes. But that's an aside. You get to design a floor plan, so I'll tell you a little bit about what floor plans are, and a little bit about site plans, the entire bigger site. A floor plan is going to show the relationship between different spaces. The best way to think about this is to imagine a horizontal cut through a building at 4 feet off the ground. Somewhere on there. You can include doors, windows, stairs, sinks, toilets. Different floor plans might include furniture to give a sense of what's going on. And floor plans are generally drawn to scale. Yours doesn't have to be perfect in this sense, but having a sense of the scale is going to be key. I know that some of you have done floor plans already in art class, depending on what rotation you're in, so this may be a little bit of review. But the building on the top is a Greek-style building. It's actually in Tennessee. But this is its floor plan. And the floor plan makes a horizontal cut through that building. So these would be thick walls. And these walls would outline a room here in the middle, and each of these circles is what? It's one of these columns, yeah. So there's, 8 columns across the front? There should be 8 columns here across the front. 17 columns across the side? That's it. This also gives you a sense of what's going on. It's taking that same building and making a horizontal cut through the building. And so those columns, you can still see them now, they look like stubs of columns. This is showing you what you're doing with a floor plan. What's this? Yeah, this is the room we're in now. This is the floor plan of the way it was proposed. Note the extra row of seats in the front that should be here, and maybe an extra row of seats in the back. I don't know if that quite got built. Fixed seating is 72. Temporary seating is 28, so we should seat 100, right? I don't know how we are doing with that one. But what have they done here? They've done a horizontal cut through the wall. So if you were back through that wall over there, what's this area over here? It's probably dirt. It's like the oval was back there, but we're below grade over there. And there, that big X at the top is the elevator that's right on the other side of this wall. And that line sticking up there, I'm taking some mouse because my arm's not long enough. This line sticking up is what? Door. Which door? Yeah, this door right here. It swings out this way, and so that little curve there is showing you which way the door swings. And the other door over there swings out this way. And look at this double door. Did that actually get built that way? The double door? Yeah, no, not really. It got built slightly differently than that. And you can't see that big door that's falling off its hinges in the back. By miles, there's a projection booth from back when they had slides. And you can sort of, go to the next slide. So this floor plan gives you a sense of the overall shape of the building, which is sometimes called the footprint of the building. So if you were to take the building and sort of plop it down in the sand and take it up, it gives you the overall shape. And here you can see lots of columns. And so an aerial view or a bird's eye view of that same building might look like that. You get the sense of the overall shape of the building. Here's a floor plan that might be a house. It shows you some things. It shows you the relationships of different rooms here. This is a standard way to draw stairs. What's going on here? It's not really clear. You've got these 2 big openings. This is not a successful floor plan. It's probably a garage, but it's not showing you anything here to indicate garage doors, or anything here to indicate a front door, or any doors between the rooms. And why are there no windows on this house? It's a simple plan. It's not a very successful one. It's not showing you much. And it's not showing you if this stairway goes up or goes down. So there are some conventions to indicate what is the stairway doing, and why isn't there a door between the garage and the house, and why isn't there a back door? There must be a back door. Somebody failed in this one. It's not a great one. Here's 2 restroom floor plans. You can see the stall doors. You can see the basic conventions for toilets and urinals and sinks. If you did label men and women, you could probably figure out what this one was as well. It's a horizontal cut. Here's another building with some smaller square columns. Any guess what this might be?
Spiral stairwell.
Yeah, a spiral stairwell. It's still not quite clear. Is this going down or is it going up? It's not very clear on that. But here's one way of showing windows with thinner lines. There is a line there with the windows, but it's not as thick as those big, thick walls that are holding up the building. And at the top we have a compass. In your mosque, you get to design a compass. It's really important that mosques are oriented the right way. And so compasses could be as simple as that, showing north, or you could have a more elaborate compass if you want. But the direction is really important. You don't get to just decide the direction. Here's a floor plan of a building that's done the horizontal cut 4 feet off the ground, but it's not as clear because this is supposed to be a column, and it's not looking like a column. It just looks like an open room, perhaps. So what might be more successful is to take those 4 columns and fill them in. That shows you that's a horizontal cut through that column. It's going to be all brick through there. It's not hollow on the inside. It's going to be all brick or stone through there. And they've done these dotted lines to indicate there's something above 4 feet off the ground. What's going on above 4 feet off the ground? This big circle is probably a dome, and the dome is probably resting on something going between these 4 big columns. Here's one. Not as successful. You've got this big circular room with columns. You've got all these columns here, more columns, lines. But what's missing is any smaller things to indicate where are the stairs, where are the windows, where are the doors, what else is in this building, what's inside, what's outside. So here's the same building with some of that. Here it's showing a big staircase in front, and more staircases here that would take you up to an upper level. And these are windows. And so now that you know that these are windows, that shows that this central place maybe is open air. What's going on there? Why would they put windows in that sense? And here's a more of a site plan, zooming out from that earlier one I showed you of the room we're in now, that shows you back behind me is that area where there's a watershed map, and that circle, so you can show the relationship of the site to the building. And here's the stairwell going, and there's a little arrow showing up. It's going up. You don't show depth or things receding in floor plans. And you can also do site plans. I just stole this minutes ago from Google Earth, and this is the site that you get to design your mosque. The JV softball field is this area here. So we have a parking lot, but you can think about what's going to happen at the Friday noon prayer is pretty important. Usually our parking lot is pretty full. So you might want to think about what's going to happen there. Do you need to have a second cut into City Avenue, or can you use the existing thing? You need to go on to the lacrosse field, hockey field. There's our oval. You can use an image like this that you can take a screenshot right from Google Earth. And this also shows you, it's cut off on there. That's interesting. Well, it shows me right down here. You can sort of see it if I can pull the screen down a little bit more.
Push the screen forward a little.
Push the screen forward?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. What did it say? 100 feet. So that is a scale. You can change that into meters if you need. You can figure out, okay, how much space does a person need for prayer? If that's 100 feet, you can measure out, well, that's 100, that's 200 feet. So this site is 200 by 300 approximately. And you can start figuring out with this. You can also zoom in more, and you can take your screenshot of whatever area you want. You can also figure out, well, what else is there that's not in this? You know, there's some big existing trees. Are you going to just demolish this big tree because you need your mosque to be bigger? What are you going to do with the graduation terrace? That's got to remain. Where's the main building? There's some nice trees here. This is a beautiful tree where the branches go all the way to the ground. One of Doug Lincoln's favorites. So this is the image I showed you at the very beginning about what a floor plan is. And